Let's talk about Darvo. It stands for deny, attack, reverse victim, and offender. It happens when someone is confronted about a specific action, and instead of addressing it, they say it didn't happen. They shift the focus onto you, and then they position themselves as the one being treated unfairly. Psychologically, this is about control of the conversation. If the focus stays on what actually happened, they would have to respond to that. So instead, they move the conversation away from the event and into something harder to pin down. They introduce new details. They question your perception, and they bring up past situations and shift attention to your tone or the reaction. Once the conversation moves away from the original moment, it becomes harder for you to hold your position and easier for them to avoid it. It also works because of how people naturally respond. When someone denies something or criticizes you, your instinct is to explain yourself, clarify what you meant, and keep the interaction from escalating. This pulls you into their structure. You stop focusing on what happened and you start focusing on proving that you're reasonable. So using this example that I posted on my socials, I stated the victim said to the manipulator, "Yesterday when you hung up on me, it felt very disrespectful." And the manipulator, me, I said, "I didn't hang up on you." Most people try to prove it happened. They explain the timing, when it happened, what they heard, what they saw, where the shift begins. The way you counter this is not by arguing better. It's by not following what they're trying to do. Your only focus here should be that you keep one clear reference point. The call ended while I was talking. So using this example, you stick with the call ended while I was talking. You stick to that fact. When they bring up the elevator, you don't debate the signal. You say again, the call ended when I was talking. When they say you always assume the worst, you do not defend your character. You stick to the call ended when I was talking. When they say you're accusing them or they bring up their work stress, you don't manage their feelings. You say again, I'm talking about the call ending. When they bring up last month, you don't go into your memory and try to figure out what they're talking about. You say, this is about yesterday. You're not trying to win the argument. You're holding the original event in place and refusing to move off of it. If the conversation keeps shifting, you end it. And you could say something like this. We're not staying on the same topic, so I'm not continuing this right now. This technique, what you're going to do, is called anchoring to the original event. It works because Darvo relies on movement. It needs you to follow each new point, defend yourself, and leave the original situation behind. When you don't move, the tactic loses its structure. There's nothing new for them to build on and no way to redirect the conversation. You're not trying to get them to agree. You're keeping your position based on what you saw happen and removing yourself from the conversation if they don't stay there. This is how you close that loop. I'm a behavioral expert that focuses on manipulation tactics. I'm not here to point fingers or decide who's the good guy or the bad guy. That doesn't matter. I'm here to point out common patterns and show you how to dismantle them. I hope this helps.